Fear is not shouting. Fear is design. Before you speak, the room has already read you. Doors say who enters first. Chairs say who must turn their neck. The clock says whose time is for sale. Corridors say which feet matter. You think control is in your voice. It isn't. It's in the edges people feel when they cross the threshold. Deadlines humming, seats angled, paths narrowed, penalties waiting like weather. Geometry of power. You arrive 5 minutes late and no one has touched the head chair. Why? Because the chair is an edge. It faces the door, not the wall. It sees everyone, is seen by everyone. 2 seats to your right are closer to the exit, less influence, quicker escape. The agenda sits at each place, but only your copy carries the final column owner. Date, test. The projector light is on a timer. Screens go black at the hour. Water is poured, not bottled. No lids, no excuses. You glance once at the clock, and the clock looks back at everyone else. Rank has been assigned by layout. The timid will talk to the carpet. The prepared will talk to the timeline. Nothing loud. Everything is sharp. Now scarcity over speeches. Constant access invites performance. Rare access invites preparation. You are not omnipresent. You are a fixed window. Office hours, Thursday, 10:12. Decisions then, not before, not after. You appear in the field unannounced, briefly, to see the work, not to narrate yourself. The fewer your appearances, the heavier they land. Emails do not become essays, they become tickets, one question, one owner, one due. People learn to compress because your time is expensive and the price is posted. They arrive ready, not needy, because the next window is a week away. No arguments about intent, no theater about effort. Timing rules like a tide. Your silence between windows teaches more than your paragraphs ever could. Scarcity also protects your mystique. Mystery is not ego. It is insulation for decisions. If they can always reach you, they can always reopen what you closed. If they cannot, they must plan around you. That planning done without you is control. Cost in the air. Penalties are printed, known by all, and applied once, without a speech. Late submission equals loss of slot. Missed metric equals scope rollback. Leak equals early access ban. Not rage, not humiliation. Settlement. When costs are public and predictable, people do their own math. They hear the meter running and end their own argument. Threats require breath you could spend elsewhere. The price requires ink you have already spent. In practice, a vendor misses the second milestone. You do not scold. You move their delivery to the end of the queue and publish the slot change on the board. As the contract said, the board is the message. A team member escalates around the chain to force urgency. You do not debate. You lock the ticket until the chain is restored, as the policy says. The lock is the sentence. A manager hoards credit. You do not expose them in the town hall. You adjust their access to pre-briefs for a quarter, then document the review gates they must pass to regain it. Everyone reads the air. Choices have weight, edges have teeth. This is the shape of wordless fear. People fear wasting effort against a wall that will not move. They fear arguing with a clock that does not answer. They fear ignoring a cost that arrives whether you smile or not. And because they fear these things, they organize themselves. Rooms quiet, projects land. The diligent stop paying for other people's theater. Do not confuse this with cruelty. Cruelty enjoys pain. Architecture prevents it. When edges are known, few collide with them. When costs are felt in the air, few buy what hurts them. You remain courteous, brief, composed. The design does the heavy lifting. Your influence is not a speech, it is a map. Let them judge by the eyes. Show them the edges. Set the room, ration your time, let the price speak. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. You were told to be endlessly kind, completely open, and ready with long explanations. They said hearts would soften, storms would pass, and order would follow. In practice, these habits make leaders loud and weak. Kindness without rails invites tests. Transparency without sequence draws fire. Explanations create leverage for everyone but you. If you want quiet that lasts, replace sentiment with structure and let the mechanics do the talking. Kindness without rails sounds noble because mercy feels like light. You waive the fee just this once, extend the deadline for the busy, and let the third offense slide to protect morale. The room warms and the price rises. Unguarded warmth teaches the bold that your rules are negotiable and the diligent that their effort is a fool's tax. Mercy without terms becomes a coupon for repeat offenses, redeemed at the moment of your greatest fatigue. Look at the team that treats lateness as a vibe, not a cost. The punctual shoulder the load, the chronic arrive later, and the calendar turns elastic. Or the community moderator who refuses to ban the serial agitator because we're a family. The decent go quiet, the reckless grow theatrical, and the culture bends toward whoever most enjoys your softness. Kindness is a virtue when it is repaired. It is corruption when it rewards audacity. Set rails. Tie compassion to restitution with a clock, one warning with repair, a second with probation and measurable milestones, a third with consequences that actually lands. Keep the voice warm and the math cold. Publish the path back so people can climb. Close the path for those who refuse. Transparency as ammunition arrives dressed as virtue. You broadcast plans, pressures, timelines, even your doubts, to prove you have nothing to hide. But when you light every corridor, you outline your soft spots. Competitors schedule launches against your milestones. Petitioners time their asks for the hour your energy dips. A rival investor reads your letter for tremors and presses exactly where your prose shook. Honesty is not nakedness, it is timed disclosure, layered by duty and backed by force. Sequence your light, reveal outcomes and law, what changes, when, and what it costs to ignore. Guard triggers and thresholds unless you are prepared to enforce them the instant they are crossed. Give operators the schematics because they pay for errors. Give spectators the scoreboard because they do not. Move explanations from previews to postmortems. Doctrine after, not confession before. Your interior is a command room, not a public square. Windows are fine, keep the locks. The explanation trap flatters the speaker and arms the listener. A slight occurs. A missed payment. A public jab. A partner who forgets your terms. You pour out context supply issues, noble intentions, personal strain, hoping to cool the fire. Each extra sentence becomes leverage. People learn the phrases that make you blink, the thresholds you will not cross, the hours you are easiest to move. Speak like a verdict, not a diary. Announce the rule in one line, the deadline in one date, the consequence in one clause that lands. If you must educate, do it after enforcement, not before. In power, explanations are currency. Spend them only when they purchase execution. If they only purchase sympathy, they cheapen your position and raise the price of your next decision. What actually calms is not tone but architecture. Rooms settle when cadence is visible, prices are fixed, and enforcement happens once, quietly, on time. Install a rhythm that resists lobbying. Rulings on Tuesdays, audits on the 1st, renewals at quarter's end. Make escalation a form, not a feeling. Tie voice to stake. The more someone bears cost, the more they speak. Tie access to performance, the reliable move closer, the charming move to the gallery. Tie forgiveness to labor repair before reunion with a date. Convert energy into mechanics. Replace PEP with checklists that block fantasy early. Define done so clearly a stranger could grade it. Build a board of promises kept, task, owner, date, green or red. The wall becomes a contract. Speeches shrink. When someone demands more context, ask, what decision will you make with it, and by when? Vague answers get less light. Precise answers get exactly the data required and nothing more. Guard your mystique. Constant availability and running commentary make you legible, and the legible are movable. Fix office hours and defend them. Shift from live narration to posted outcomes. Keep a corridor only you walk and a rhythm only you set. A locked door is not arrogance. It is architecture that preserves the state for those who deserve its shelter. Modern scenes prove the law. A startup comps licenses to buy love. Praise pours in until the discount ends. Then the choir turns, and the brand is on trial for the crime of charging. A leader who streams roadmaps for trust finds rivals arriving 2 days early to claim her headline, while insiders weaponize her doubts to delay. A manager who writes novels of justification teaches the office the cheat codes: plead retention, escalate late Friday, mention burnout, and the gates open, reverse the emphasis. Let structure speak so sentiment can soften without being exploited. Make your kindness a ladder, not a hammock. Make your honesty a ledger, not a diary. Make your voice a signal, not a stream. When the mechanics are visible and the prices are real, the noise drops, the wolves lose interest, and the quiet workers finally have weather they can trust. You do not need to be cruel to be firm or loud to be strong. You need clocks that don't bargain and prices that don't blush. Trade theater for timetables. Trade explanations for invoices. Trade confessions for consequences. Then let the room decide whether to love you or not. The bridge will hold either way. Warm heart, closed map, exact law. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. Niccolò Machiavelli, you built control in silence. A glance, a nod, a calendar that spoke for you. Then the old needs broke through approval, hunger, saviour, vanity, dread of conflict, and the room learned to tug you with feelings. You began to narrate what should have been decided, to comfort what should have been corrected, to talk until the edge went dull. Turn inward, tie each impulse to a corrective ritual so your power stops leaking through your mouth. Approval addiction, scarce speech. Clinical, pitiless diagnosis. Your heart jumps before all hands. Your emails lengthen when you want to be liked. Your rules gain soft words. Roughly, for now, we'll see. The urge to be liked spills words, and spilled words become commitments. Offenders do not fight your policy. They wait out your paragraphs and collect discounts from your needs. Prescription, single-sentence orders naming owner, date, and test. Owner, who carries the weight. Date, when reality will judge. Test, the number that decides. Opzones rollback by May 30. Success is MTTR under 15 minutes. If you cannot compress the decision into one breath, you are performing, not governing. Performance invites negotiation. Governance ends it. Modern scenes prove the rule. A customer pushes for just a little scope. Old you narrates sacrifice. New you states, sales owns pilot. By July 12, feature is post-pilot after 3 paid sign-ups. A director challenges the bar. Old you explains intent. New you, product owns launch August 8, pass at NPS 45. Otherwise revert and publish the post-mortem Friday. Scarce speech hardens the edge. Your words become gates, not gifts. Saviour reflex boundary ritual. Candlelit interrogatory truth. Rescuing is a clean drug. You take midnight calls, sign waivers, write heroic emails. Gratitude arrives. Dependency grows in the damp. People learn the path to power, create a crisis, Trigger your cape. Leave with a favor. Replace theater with structure. Probation, restitution, deadline. Probation. The rescued unit loses freedom while competence returns. Restitution. The commons gains an asset docks. Automation. Training that prevents the same fire. Deadline. The uninstall date for your exception. Written before it begins. No ritual, no rescue. Use it. Sales claims a bespoke feature will save the quarter. You answer with PRD probation, restitution, deadline. Probation, no new custom for 90 days. Restitution, publish a no custom playbook and instrument true cost. Deadline, feature auto-deletes in 90 days unless 2 paying customers adopt. A manager dodges performance feedback and asks you to do it. Instead, you enforce PRD. Probation manager loses hiring authority this month. Restitution, complete feedback training, script the talk, deliver it with a witness, and file outcomes within 24 hours. Deadline, performance plan decision by the 15th. Your help becomes governance. Their gratitude becomes optional. Fear of silence timing engine, metronomic and precise. You misread quietly as judgment and rush to fill it. Babbling, leaks, hedging, invites, pushes, jokes, sell, discounts. The enemy needs no spyware when your nerves broadcast. Install 3 pauses. Short pause to value words. 3 breaths, then 1 priced sentence. Long pause to draw confession. After the boundary, count to 7. Their flaw, fear, or need will walk into the gap. Final pause to close debate. Repeat the line once, write the decision, move the agenda. Stillness begins to run the room. Practice under heat. Investor. Color on burn, short pause. Runway 15 months, 19 if we freeze experiments. The price is slower learning. Long pause. They reveal what they truly fear. Final pause. We keep the experiment rate. Revisit at board. Journalist. Any hint of features. Short pause. We discuss after validation. Long pause. If they press, final pause. End the call. Power is the ability to let silence finish your sentence. Ego craving credit discipline. Austere realism. Spotlight hunger mortgages control. When you chase praise, you mint promises the treasury must fund. Applause spends, governance accrues. Redirect, shine outward while you hold schedule and standards. 3 habits. First, name owners early and let them speak. You keep time. Second, praise across, not up. Celebrate teams and cross-functions, not your persona. Third, guard cadence in quiet. Protect deep work on the calendar. Enforce the reversal protocol. Maintain the bar on bad days. You become the metronome, not the soloist. Coalitions defend maps they help draw. Examples. A conference offers you the keynote. You send the builder with the metrics while you take the dinner where terms are set, then leave early. A viral thread crowns you visionary. You reply with release notes, dates, gates, tests, and links to the team's docs. Your name shrinks, your authority thickens. Those who need the light drift toward press. Those who love the work drift toward you. Bind the 4 rituals into one posture. Scarce speech removes handles from your body. Boundary ritual turns mercy into law. Timing control moves advantage from nerves to structure. Credit discipline buys you defenders who benefit from order. The room calms, not because you hug more, but because the floor holds. Policy stops acting like therapy and starts acting like weather. Predictable enough to plan, strong enough to survive. Expect revolt from within. Approval hunger will draft a longer email. The savior will itch to waive the ritual, just this once. Dread will beg for one more meeting. Ego will tilt your chin toward the camera. Treat urges like weather. You are climate. Ritual is geography. Mountains do not argue with rain. they shape it. Daily drill. Morning. Write 2 one-breath decisions with owner, date, and test. Midday. Run 1 boundary ritual end-to-end and log probation, restitution, deadline. Late day. Practice 3 timing cycles, short, long, final in low-stakes calls. Evening. Publish credit outward to builders and adjust the calendar to protect tomorrow's bar. Repeat until the procedure runs without your mood. Over weeks, wordless control returns. People stop lobbying feelings and start aligning to law. Rivals discover you can be warm and still unreadable. Teams breathe because standards do not beg. You speak less and are believed more. When the old needs knock, you will have a sentence, a ritual, a pause, and a calendar. Short orders, long memory. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. You begin by confusing applause with authority. A late deliverable waived, a weekend favor approved, a discount granted just this once, another once, and another. Exception breeds exception. Breathless, staccato, grant, adjust, clarify, reverse, apologize, repeat. Law turns into theater. Policy starts to improvise around feelings. The wall that should guard everyone thins into a curtain. Anyone can part with the right tone of pleading. You feel humane, the diligent feel billed. A freeze is declared, no changes until ship. By noon, a marquee client pleads uniqueness. By dusk, unique becomes a road with lanes. Engineers build the feature, then the exception to the feature, then the patch to keep the exception from breaking the feature. Operations move weekends like furniture. Finance stops forecasting outcomes and starts forecasting your mood. The quiet worker waits while sirens cut the line. The city learns that noise moves you, not norms. You try to mend the leak with clarity. A memo drops, then a Q&A to clarify the memo, then an AMA to soothe the feelings the Q&A stirred. Each paragraph buys minutes of calm and sells weeks of leverage back to the crowd. People over-process, you write. They hear process optional. Transparency, you promise. They read, renegotiate life. The more you explain, the lighter your word becomes. Now the lighter it becomes, the more you explain. Authority thins at the pace of your punctuation. That is the spiral of exceptions. Mercy multiplied until rules become theater and chaos, taxes the diligent. Rivals turn forensic. They time your softness like quants reading a tape. A swollen quote lands at 4:58 p.m. on quarter close. You pay to save the story. A sorrowful open letter appears the morning a reporter calls. You contextualize on camera and shrink the policy live. An influencer praises your empathy on Sunday. You overcorrect on Monday with credits and scope. They do not need to defeat your rules if they can schedule your guilt. Your pattern becomes their script. They catalog your calls with icy care. Repeat transparency 3 times, and a reversal is loading short the decision. Announce open office hours under pressure and scope will shrink in public. Enter with maximal asks. Write nuance, and a delay can be priced. Sell patience high. Post, we're listening, and the deadline will move. Buy time and concessions now. They stage emergencies to force your speeches. Your habit of explaining on demand becomes their toll road. Predictability is public currency. Strangers trade it while you pay the spread. Inside, arbitrage becomes culture. Middle managers escalate in group channels because you pay a premium for harmony when watched. Senior staff book quick clarifications late because fatigue discounts your no. New hires learn the folkways faster than the workflows. Be gracious in private, urgent in public, grateful in writing, demanding in meetings. The principled fall quiet, the theatrical prosper. The rule drifts from constitution to costume. It fits whoever performs hardest. Standards blur, budgets tilt toward noise. Patience is taxed into resentment. Now the reckoning room grim, judicial. A meeting named alignment, lit like steel. Screens glow, your words arrive as exhibits. A director advances a timeline, audience, statement, counter-statement, outcome. Which was binding, you are asked. You reach for motive, they reach for math. Another slide lists costs. Slipped launches, duplicated builds, security drift, credits issued to pacify commentary, reputation discounted for volatility. The ledger is not angry, it is exact. Every debt you refuse to collect, accrued interest. Every breach you forgave stands as precedent. They read you to yourself. Email, no scope changes after code freeze, April 3. Slack, do what it takes for strategic accounts, April 4. All hands, no third-party access this quarter, April 10. DM, one-time integration to honor trust, April 12. Support note, credit issued to resolve confusion, April 15. Sensible alone, incoherent together. Good intentions are acknowledged, then priced as unreliability. Verbosity writes its own indictment. Your apologies, one last chances, and, to clarify, threads are receipts, not absolution. Contrast plays in a quiet reel. Leaders who kept to the ledger. They speak once, in lines that carry weather. Their freezes live behind a triad law, finance, operations with vetoes that cannot be charmed. Clarifications come in one paragraph, once, within 24 hours. No public forum revises policy. Forums ask, policy answers later, once. Exception ledgers sit on the table with caps. Midnight is a wall, not a window. Their people build once. Rivals misprice their calm and lose money on gambits that used to win. Then the moral price arrives in ordinary hours. A junior engineer who obeyed the freeze watches her roadmap reopened by a VIP's sigh. A support agent who told the truth is overruled by a temporary credit that returns each quarter with a new mask. A manager who shipped on time loses promotion to the firefighter who lit 2 fires and filmed 1 rescue. A parent misses bedtime because your midnight values thread moved tomorrow's line. Budgets slide toward the noisy, trust slides away from the fair. Governance has yielded to mood and the innocent pay in mornings, in margins, in faith. You attempt one final ribbon of explanation. The chair lifts a palm. We are not doubting your heart, she says. We are pricing your reliability. Men, the Florentine warned, judge more by the eye than by the hand. The eye has watched you reverse, and now discounts your crown. Your yes trades at a discount when watched. Your no is a rental. You cannot be loved into coherence, and you cannot explain yourself into strength. There is a remedy, and it is not warmer light. It has fewer lights and thicker doors. Speak once, in stone, promise little, deliver exactly, make exceptions rare, expensive, and visible to all. Replace apology budgets with enforcement budgets. Lock freeze behind the triad with vetoes that do not blink. Ban live renegotiation. Public stages cannot rewrite law. Move your calendar from sponge to gate. Install quiet hours where the state cannot be petitioned. Publish the exception ledger with caps. Let boring become sacred. Practice where it hurts. A celebrity client sneers unless you bend compliance. You decline on record. A partner drags talks to 11:59 p.m. You let midnight arrive and the deal expires. A beloved team pleads for a late pivot that would wreck the quarter. You hold the line and hold their dignity while you say no. An internal star drops a clever insult in a meeting. You stop the meeting, invoice the breach, and resume tomorrow with one rule for all. Some leave, most stay. All learn the price of your yes and the reality of your no. Build engines that outlast charm, triaged queues, on-call rotations, one-paragraph clarifications, postmortems without theatre and with restitution. Promotion criteria that reward steady builders over heroic pyromaniacs. Teach the difference between mercy and leakage. Mercy names a small, visible cost to protect the many. Leakage hides the cost and charges the diligent interest. When your word is stone and your exceptions costly, rivals mistime their pushes, factions retire brinkmanship, and the market edits its model. Volatility down, execution up. Love is pleasant, being steady is sovereign. Give the eye one image coherence, and let the hand feel outcomes that do not flinch. Then the diligent will stop paying the tax, and the house will stop performing leadership in place of living under it. The crown will grow heavy in the right way, weight as reminder, not burden as bruise. Be warm in spirit, iron in law. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. You were trained to seek approval, to brighten rooms, to soften edges, to explain yourself until no one could accuse you of hardness. But the duty is not to be liked. It is to be relied upon. Fear, in the sense Machiavelli meant, is not terror. It is certainty. The room believes your rails will hold under pressure. People rest because your structure will not bend to their moods. Respect before affection. Authority is reliability, promise less, deliver exactly, repeat. Charm can win a season, cadence wins an era. On a drifting team, you put two numbers in daylight, deadline and scope. If risk rises, scope shrinks, or resources rise. If the date must move, it moves in public with signatures. Owners are named. Decisions are logged. Follow-ups live on the calendar, not in the rumor mill. You do not scold, you correct. You do not plead, you ship. After 2 cycles, the air changes, fewer apologies, tighter handoffs, cleaner endings because the calendar stops lying and your word behaves like law. Carry the same law into your personal life. You return calls when you said you would. You arrive and leave on time. You do not sell your sleep to midnight storms you did not cause. If a boundary is crossed, a private confidence spilled, a contempt joke in public, you do not convene a courtroom of feelings. You restate the rule, apply the posted cost, and resume your pace. Affection, if it belongs, adapts to climate. The rest leaves, and the order you keep protects everyone who stays. Make delivery your identity. Track promises like freight, not fireworks. Under-promise by design, over-deliver by an honest inch. When conditions change, renegotiate before failure, not after. Reputation becomes a ledger of settlements paid on time, not a chorus about intentions. Your name begins to mean arrives when expected. Ambiguity as shield, selective access and layered, reveals protect judgment from sabotage. Words spend coins, silence banks it for decisive moments. You are briefed by rings. The outer circle receives the mission and next step. The inner circle receives rationale, constraints, and 2 likeliest risks. The core receives uncertainties, contingencies, and the triggers for retreat. Engines drown when flooded, so do councils. Staggered reveals synchronize attention with reality and deny opportunists the oxygen of chaos. In negotiation, state the aim in 1 line, 12-month agreement with penalties for late delivery, and ask one precise question: what will you commit? Then wait. The anxious reveal price. The arrogant reveal entitlement. The prepared reveal structure. Your quiet becomes a mirror. If leaks appear, you place harmless markers, distinct phrasing in non-critical notes to trace the path without spectacle. When the trail glows, you redraw access. You do not rage, you re-engineer the gate. Guard your time like a city gate. Office hours, limited slots, crisp agendas. Meetings without decisions die at the threshold. Inbox as customs. Each message declares goal, constraint, and decision requested, or it returns to sender. Respond in windows you choose, not on a leash. Online, publish the rule once, enforce it twice, and let your record speak thereafter. In a culture that spills everything, mystery is not ego, it is fireproofing around the powder, decency with edges. Pair humane intent with posted costs, praise in public, enforce in private, document always. Ceremony turns mood into law. Draft a code a newcomer learns before lunch. Tell the truth early, start and end on time. Escalate blocks within 24 hours. Never punish messengers. Attach tariffs. First, misremediate and document. Second, removal from the critical path. Willful breach, roll, redesign, or exit. Enforcement is brief and exact. Praise names the behavior, the benefit, and the owner. The point is not theater. The point is order that dignifies both giver and receiver. Work the code in practice. A handoff fails and a customer pays. The junior owns the error and asks for help. Mercy arrives with a contract. 2 cycles shadowing a senior, a shipped checklist, weekly reports, and a checkpoint by the 15th. If the numbers improve, privileges return. If not, duties change and access narrows. Compassion tied to outcomes reforms the one and protects the many. In the same quarter, a repeat offender blames the calendar again. Access retracts for a season. Retraining requires proof before return, or replacement follows. Kindness without consequence is a subsidy for chaos. Kindness with terms is repair. At home, the same architecture. Money has a budget. Phones sleep outside bedrooms. Guests respect the table's peace. If a line is crossed, the posted cost applies. No sermons, no improvisations. A teenager who breaks curfew sends notice beforehand and accepts a weekend freeze. A relative who turns dinner into a tribunal hosts the next one under your rules. Phones parked, topics bounded, end time set. Forgiveness is not erasure, it is supervised rebuild with a final date. Understand what fear properly means. It is not dread of your temper, it is confidence that your edges will not warp under heat. People curb their worst impulses because your limits are real and your word keeps its own weather. The city sleeps not because it loves you, but because it believes your hands will hold the line when storms arrive. This is the pivot, from the need to be liked to the duty to be relied upon. Authority as reliability, ambiguity as shield, decency with edges. Promise little, deliver exactly. Speak once, enforce quietly. Let outcomes carry your name. Hold the line, let the rest explain. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. You make the rails known and the bills arrive, not to frighten people but to let them plan. Rooms quiet when edges are visible. Crises shrink when time is priced. Loyalty matures when patterns win over moods. You do not purchase peace with speeches, you mint it with structure, and it circulates on its own. Begin with the quiet court. Agendas are short, owners are clear, conclusions are scheduled. You open with 1-page options, costs, and a clock that does not lie. You invite objections once, record them, and close. No roaming microphones, no rescue monologues that flatter vanity and starve results. Picture your week. The stand-up ends at 15 because updates become numbers, not novels. Pre-reads arrive the night before. Live time becomes editing, not improvisation. Slack threads finish with a single name and a date. Loops of "for your information" evaporate. At home, the dinner fight becomes a Sunday rotation. One trip buys the week, and evenings return to conversation instead of negotiation. Your phone loses the right to yank your pulse at midnight. Notifications batch, and you answer on schedule. The room breathes because vagueness, chaos's favorite accomplice, has no chair. Make the order legible. Publish who decides, who advises, who observes before heat rises. Put decisions in writing so memory cannot lie. Stamp start and finish times, then keep them. Reward the bringer of unpleasant truth faster than the singer of sweet music. Surface errors early while they are cheap. Log wins with names and dates, so credit tracks craft, not volume. When the candle burns low, there are no heroics to report, only order doing its work, quietly, repeatably, on time. Serenity is engineered. Now, loyalty that survives weather. You trade applause for continuity. Treat similar cases similarly, even when rumor begs for an exception that flatters the loud. Pay on time, praise in public, correct in private. Publish criteria before choosing winners, then keep them when a favorite loses. Your yes is scarce, and your no is clean. Forgive once with instruction attached. The second time brings consequence without insult. People learn they can bet on your pattern, not your temperature. The flatterers drift because novelty starves in a disciplined room. Builders stay because standards feed them. Trust thickens not because you perform anger or charm, but because you are the same on Monday and Friday, in sunlight and in rain. Make the bills arrive. Miss a deadline without cause, your next slot moves back. Interrupt twice, you lose the floor for a cycle. Leak a draft, you lose access for a month. No tantrum, no theater, just gravity posted in advance and applied once. Word spreads that you do not chase people with speeches. You manage outcomes with receipts. In time, the ledger speaks louder than your defense could. Even those who dislike you learn to plan around you because your edges do not wobble. Finally, continuity as mercy. A city that keeps its mornings. Lights rise in kitchen windows. Buses arrive. Shops lift shutters. Children cross calm streets watched by guards bored enough to gossip about weather. That boredom is victory. It means your boundaries worked while you slept. Paychecks are clear. Policies match practice. People schedule next month without divining your face. The diligent are protected from the loud, the honest from the cunning. You spare them humiliation by refusing spectacle. You spare them chaos by refusing whim. Call it wordless fear, if you like. But what the city feels is stability, the quiet knowledge that the rules will meet reality when it matters. Carry it forward. Write messages that fit on one breath. Enter meetings with a draft decision, so debate sharpens, not stalls. Keep review cadences so feedback is steady rather than explosive. When conflict arrives, lower your volume and raise your specificity numbers, dates, terms. Protect the loyal with coverage plans, clear roles, deadlines that survive weather. When rails are known and bills arrive, rooms quiet, crises shrink, and loyalty matures because everyone, friend and critic, can plan around your edges. Post the rails, settle the bill, keep the morning.